This is Cornell Hunt here at Hunt for Strength, and I want to kind of go over a huge movement that we like to do here. That's the deadlift. The deadlift is one of those movements that a lot of people stay away from because they think that it puts a lot of stress on the back, which indeed it does. But I think that we need to focus on the actual movement in itself as opposed to thinking about a deadlift lifting a lot of weight. So we're going to kind of go over a few ways we teach the deadlift here and how we kind of progress into a barbell deadlift. So let's kind of get into that today. So the first thing we do when we're teaching the deadlift is to teach our clients how to posteriorly and anteriorly tilt their pelvis. So what I mean by that is a lot of people, when they stand up, they're kind of in what we call hyperextension. So if they're doing a deadlift, they'll stand up and they'll stay into this extended mode. So what we actually want to do is we want to get that spine neutral by posteriorly tilting our pelvis and getting our glutes engaged. So when we're down, we're coming up. Once we lock out, we want to stay here, as opposed to seeing a lot of people when they stand up is they stand just like this. So again, before we actually get into the deadlift movement, we just focus on teaching our athletes how to get here and to get here. Boom, and then engaging those glutes and squeezing them. Once we're able to establish that skill, we're able to kind of progress into more of the deadlift movement. I'll stop that. So after we establish that skill set to be able to posteriorly and anteriorly tilt their pelvis, we're going to kind of get into what we call a hip hinge. And the hip hinge is something, again, that we think every person should understand how to do, because that's going to allow them to do a deadlift in a safe and effective manner. So Jay's going to come over here. We're going to kind of do an exercise that we do to kind of teach people how to hinge their hips. Jay's going to take his PVC pipe, he's going to put it into his back, he's going to grab it with his top hand and his neck, drop hand a little bit lower, and also going to put his bottom hand right here at the lumbar curve in his spine. Turn a little bit this way just so we can see you. All right, so he's going to have 3 points of contact: his head, his back, and his butt. So right now, Jay's going to slightly flex his knee. All right, both just like that. Now he's going to push his hips backwards, putting all the stress onto his hips and to his hamstrings, just like that, hinging backwards. Now you're going to stand on up, just like that. The whole time as he does it, he's going to focus on trying to keep those 3 points of contact. So let's do like 2 more reps, just like that. Hips back, load up the hamstrings, all your weight, come back up. Let's do 1 more. And again, as we're doing it, Jay wants to kind of put all his weight back onto his heels and be able to stand up just like that. Once, again, that's our next progression, being able to understand the hip hinge. And after we do that, then we can actually start to load our clients. So our next phase of doing the deadlift and understanding the deadlift movement is we're going to start to load our clients. What we like to do here, especially people who have a hard time walking up to a barbell or a kettlebell, is be able to get down and get into a proper movement. So what we teach is actually kind of like the top-down approach. So what I may do is I may actually come and I may give Jay the kettlebell so he starts holding it, standing straight up. So now he's actually going to do the movement from the top down. So Jay, going down, hips backwards, go down, tap the ground, slightly bend your knees, right there, stand up tall. Just like that. Do it again. Here we go. Going down, stand up tall, just like that. Put it on down. So again, when we're doing that, a lot of people may walk up and they may be able to do all the necessary steps, but what's going to happen is when they go down and go to try to grab onto the kettlebell, what they may do is they may get into this unsafe position, stand up like so. So what we want to do is to make sure they stand up tall, get those glutes engaged. As they go down, they get that hinging pattern. All right, slight flex in the knees, stay into this position, and now I'm standing up tall. I do it again, hips back, slightly flex my knees, come on down, and then stand up nice and tall. So that's our next phase, is to be able to teach someone a kettlebell deadlift. And then from there, we'll move on to a trap bar deadlift. So our next phase or progression into the deadlift movement and moving into a barbell is a trap bar deadlift. This is one of our favorite exercises. We do this a lot. It's a safer way of doing a deadlift while still getting the same benefits as a regular barbell deadlift. So Jay's going to hop on in the middle of the barbell. And again, because his weight is centered around Jay, it makes it a little bit easier for him to pick it up. So he's going to grab the bar nice and tight. He's going to drop his hips a little bit, chest up nice and tall, keeping that nice long spine. He's going to stand up tall, just like that, making sure, again, we get that posteriorly pelvic tilt, squeezing the glutes. Hips go backwards first, going down, set it, and do it again, up. Good job, do 1 more time. Perfect, lock it out, stand up tall, and squeeze, just like that, put it on down. So we first learned to tilt our pelvis, we went into the hip hinge movement, we went to a kettlebell, now we're into the trap bar, and now we're gonna kind of move into the barbell deadlift and show you how we do that. Before we get into the barbell deadlift, we want to make sure that a lot of our clients understand how to engage their lats, right? So what happens is just because an athlete is down to a good position and they're nice and neutral. Doesn't mean they're going to stay like that once the weight kind of stands up. Because once the weight stands up, it's going to pull them out of position. So what we want to do is we actually want to make sure that our athletes or our clients engage their lats. It's going to allow them to keep their spine nice and neutral all the way in. So a quick drill we like to do to be able to teach that is I'm going to have Jay, pretend that the PVC pipe is the barbell, so he's going to grab it like this. All right, I'm going to put this right here. All right, what he's going to do is he's going to engage his lats, keep that close to his body, and now from this position he's going to do a deadlift movement. Here we go, go down, stand up tall, good, just like that. Here we go, go down again, engage your lats, stand up tall, do one more time. Here we go, and stand on up, just like that, perfect. All right, now after that we'll move into the actual barbell deadlift. Good, we're going to walk right into the shot next.
Yeah, so that's the papers right there.
Now keep in mind, the barbell deadlift is something that we do with more advanced clients who understand how to move their body. We generally a lot of times like to stop at the trap bar deadlift, but if someone is getting stronger and we think that they can progress even more by using the barbell deadlift, then we'll kind of move on up to the barbell work. So Jay's going to come on in. All right, he's going to walk his body by maybe get his shins about an inch away from the bar. So using that kind of top-down approach, he's going to kind of push his hips backwards, go down and grab the bar. All right, the big thing with this is trying to make sure that we're trying to keep our shins vertical. We don't want to bring our knees too far forward. We want to kind of sit back, just like that, keep all my weight on my heels, and keep my shins vertical, and that's going to kind of really engage that posterior chain. So from this position, Jay's going to pull the bar into his shins. He's going to engage his lats, kind of like we did before. And another thing is Jay's going to also keep his spine nice and neutral. A big mistake that we see a lot of people do is kind of throw their head up like this, but we actually want Jay to kind of keep his spine nice and tight, nice and neutral the whole way down. He's going to engage those lats, and from this position, he's going to stand up tall. Just like that, getting that posterior pelvic tilt, squeezing those glutes, go back down to the ground, pause for a second, get those lats nice and tight, stand up tall, and squeeze, just like that. All right, so again, you put it on now. This is, the barbell deadlift is the ending progression to what we like to do, but this is something that we like to say is earned, not given. You must be able to master all the steps leading up to that. Once you're able to master those steps, we can trust you to be able to move to the barbell deadlift. The great thing about the deadlift is that it's the movement. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm using a barbell. It's a certain movement that all clients should be able to do. You can use a dumbbell, a kettlebell, a trap bar, any other modality you think that you have in your toolbox to use that you think your athletes or your clients are going to progress. Thanks guys for watching. This is Cornell here at Hunt for Strength.